Hey guys, it's the 21st of July, so you know what that means. That's right, Red Gaming Tech are going to be taking a look at another today's deals on the Steam summer sale. Just one day left, that's tomorrow. So, first thing we're going to be taking a look at is the Prince of Persia complete pack. Pretty damn good deal actually, 75% off. Kind of a normal number for the Steam sale, which is £10.74. This is Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, Prince of Persia Forgotten Sands, The Two Thrones, and The Warrior Within. If you've somehow missed out on the Prince of Persia series, very good. If you have missed out on them and you're fans of, say, Assassin's Creed, the general platform, puzzle, and story elements, then definitely worth checking out. Graphics are pretty impressive, although some of the games are slightly older, of course, including the original Prince of Persia. This is definitely a very good game series, definitely highly critically acclaimed as well. Most people I know who have actually played these don't actually dislike them, so definitely worth checking out. Very good games indeed, and for the price a pretty damn good deal. On today's deals, of course, we have another indie bundle, as is fine tradition, and this is, of course, number 10. That is, of course, 75% off, and, of course, about £7. This is a very good pack indeed. We have All Zombies Must Die, which we did a first impressions of, by the way. You might want to check that out. We also have Beat Hazard, which Amata reliably informs me is a very good game. And we also have Machinarium, or Machinarium, depending how you wish to pronounce that one. Anyway, this is a case where all the games are pretty good on this pack, and once again, you're probably going to want to pick up at least 2 of them, unless of course you own majority of them. In which case, otherwise you're best served to buy the entire pack rather than just cherry picking. Very good pack indeed. I would highly recommend checking them out. Very, very nice indie bundle for once. There have been a few weak ones. This is definitely not the case, however, with today's offering. Peter Molyneux is definitely one of the better known names in gaming, and of course the Fable series is certainly, to say it's famous is a bit of an understatement. Fable 3, however, came to a bit of a underwhelming performance. Some people, including myself, were somewhat unimpressed with it. I'm not saying it's a particularly bad game, but it just could have been a little bit better. Either way, it's available on the Steam summer sale, 75% off. That brings it to £8.99. And you've also got all the DLCs there in case you missed out on them. I am actually a big fan of Fable 1. Fable 2 and 3, though, I wasn't so impressed by. That's not a personal vendetta or anything against the games. I actually quite like them. Every time I play them, I can't help but feel that they could have been a little bit better. However, I do think it's a very good game, nevertheless, so it could be worth checking out, particularly as they are fun and they're fairly long and unique stories. I do sometimes feel a bit frustrated by the storytelling. Particularly, I felt this in the early days of Fable 3, but bear in mind, every person has little quirks that annoy them. I definitely think Fable 3 is still a good game. It is fairly expensive, and it's held its price fairly well. Whether you want to cough up for this one when there are a lot of games that are equally as expensive, if not slightly cheaper, on the Steam sale is up to you. It is, however, a good action RPG and does have a good story and replayability, which is ultimately a pretty good thing. So whether you want to be known as a chicken chaser or not, fans of the game and genre will of course understand that one, then that is all up to you. A rather impressive 92% off. You can buy the entire Dawn of War's franchise pack. That brings it to £17.49 for a ridiculous amount of games. They are extremely well critically acclaimed, and if you are into either the Warhammer series or you're into RTS, it might well be worth you checking these ones out. I personally have not played them myself, however my friends have. I know a couple of people who've played them, and all of them, and they really love them. In fact, it actually kind of got one of them into the Dawn of War and the Warhammer kind of lore, if you will. They're not massive fans or anything, they do kind of appreciate it now they've actually played the RTS. So, definitely worth checking out. For the price, It's pretty damn impressive. You will have a lot of games in the pack, and you can of course just pick up the normal Dawn of War if you do want to, including Warhammer 2. It's up to you on this one. The pack is very, very good value for money, and will of course keep you going for many hours in the campaign, as they are very story driven. Next up is the pretty damn popular Torchlight, 75% off, or £3.24. Before we get into this one, however, it's worth noting that Torchlight 2 will be available pretty soon. I believe it's September-ish time. And also, more to the point, if you pre-purchase Torchlight 2, it is £14.99. You do get the original Torchlight 1 for completely free. That's right, you get it now for free, so it's a very good offer. However, if you are one of those people who just want to check out Torchlight 1 to get a feeling of what you're going to be into, this is a pretty good opportunity. It's going to cost you pretty damn nothing, to be honest with you, for the price, and is a very good game, especially since Diablo 3 has so much controversy going about it, with connection issues, balance issues, and other things. There are people who are saying, of course, Diablo 3 is dying. Other people say it's a load of rubbish. Either way, Diablo is a good game, of course, but then so is Torchlight, and it's a very popular, fun game. We did, I believe, cover this in a beta, I'm almost positive, so you might want to check those videos out, and Marta did those, if I remember correctly. So definitely worth checking out. Very good game. Worth the price, but the only thing that's slight negative is, of course, Torchlight 2 is coming out soonish, and if you pre-order it, well, you get the Torchlight 1 for completely free. Up is Evercron Mercenary, which is an indie simulation space type of game. This is not bad according to Metacritic and other reviews, but it could be better. There are a relatively high amount of space type of games recently. Whether you want to pick this one up, I'll leave up to you. Personally, I don't think it's bad, but going by Metacritic and other reviews that I've been checking out, it's probably not the best use of your money. However, it's 75% off, £4.99 for those who really want it. It's still fairly expensive, considering that for £4.99 or whatever it is in your respective currency, you can pick up some really shiny deals. Leave it up to you though. It's not the worst game ever from what I'm reading, but it's certainly not the best game ever either. But if you've been kind of wanting it, it's not a bad price for it, I suppose. Is the Batman franchise, which includes Batman Arkham City, Batman Arkham Asylum, that is Game of the Year edition, Batman Gotham City Imposters, Batman Arkham City Robin, the Nightwing and Map Challenge Pack, Harlequin's Revenge, loads of Gotham City crap, I'm not going to go for all of that, and finally Batman Arkham City, the Arkham City Skins Pack. Is a very good deal. You save a lot of money, 81%. However, for those of you who are more disconcerting and you just want the really big hitters, that is of course Arkham City and Asylum. They are available separately, 66% off actually Arkham City, which brings it to £6.79, and of course Arkham City is there as well for 66% off. Arkham City also of course allows you to buy all the DLC for cheaper. This is a great opportunity if, like me, you bought the game on its release and then you've been waiting for the Harlequin's Revenge. I actually just recently picked up Harlequin's Revenge on the Steam summer sale, which is actually £2.71 incidentally. Highly recommend you do check out Batman Arkham City or Asylum. I'd actually recommend you pick up both if you haven't already done so. I actually really like Arkham City. There were some PC problems, specifically with DX11 on launch. These, for the most part, have been fixed, particularly with hardware physics. There were problems with DX11, and basically you had to play it in DX9 mode, which, to put it mildly, people were extremely pissed over, despite the fact that the game was actually supposedly delayed because of they were implementing and improving performance, and then of course it came out, and to say it was a bit of a travesty is somewhat of an understatement. There were also a few other problems with the release on launch, and I actually had to believe it or not, RDP into an American server, despite me being UK, log into my Steam account to actually get the game actually working for some reason or another. I can't remember what that was about, but anyway, that's completely off topic. However, when you do actually play the game, and pretty much all these problems, in fact all the problems now have been fixed at launch, or should I say fixed since launch, the game is a very fun game. The story is very well told indeed. The characters, including Mark Hamill, are who of course plays the Joker, did extremely well. The voice acting, I don't know what the hell it is with me the last couple of days. I'm probably speaking English for some reason or another. Anyway, regardless, the game is very fun, and the ability to fly across the city, quite literally in some cases, is very important, and also the challenges and everything else are very nice. I would definitely recommend this one. It does look very pretty, providing you have a graphics card to run it, and you've got hardware tessellation and all the other shiners. DX11 is very nice. I did actually put a video of this one out. It was actually one of the first RGT videos, funnily enough, and it actually covers the game, various graphical level details, so you can just see what it runs like. Even if you have an older rig, even if you have something like an ATI 4850 for example, it does still look very nice in DX9, so don't let that put you off or anything. It still look better than your Xbox owning friends. No offense to, of course, the Xbox owners. So anyway, moving on. Quantum Conundrum. This is actually one of those games I expected to do a lot better than it actually did. I was fairly disappointed actually with the lack of response it got, considering how good it actually is, in my opinion anyway. It is £6 or 40% off, and I'm pretty sure it actually has the same actor who played as Q doing the voice acting of the Mad Scientist. I could be wrong on that one, but it certainly sounded like him anyway. But regardless, it's a very cool puzzle action strategy platformer type of game, and some of the makers behind Portal were involved, I believe, which explains one of the reasons it's somewhat reminded me of Portal. It is also one of those games where I'd actually highly recommend you check out if you were a fan of Portal. Graphics are not the best in the world, but they are very functional and they do look quite nice. There are also very impressive things, such as where you shift various dimensions, and the further of course you get into the game, the more complex and interesting the solutions to these puzzles become. I have done a first impressions review on this one, highly recommend you check it out. It's actually really a fun game. For the price, you are certainly not going to really be doing that much better in this particular today's deals anyway. Definitely a fun game, would recommend it. I wish it did do a little bit better actually, but nevertheless sometimes you just get a game that doesn't do quite as well as it should, and other times you get a game that does a lot better than it should, at least in my opinion. Finally, we have ARMA 2, which is probably going to be most famous, ironically enough now, for the DayZ mod. Nevertheless, the combined operation is available 40% off for £14.99. It is, of course, quite critically acclaimed and popular in its own right, and, well, let's just be honest here, the DayZ mod, I don't think I've actually heard one person recently who is a PC owner who has not talked about this damn game, despite the fact that I'm still yet to even buy ARMA. Anyway, this is one of those games where I think people are going to want it for the modability, and if you're a fan of, well, at the very least you want the DayZ mod, is a pretty good opportunity to get it. The game itself is pretty critically acclaimed, as I've mentioned. Haven't personally checked it out though, so whether you want to go ahead with this one is up to you, but it's possibly worth it just for the DayZ mod alone. Finally, we're going to be talking about the community's choice and the flash deals. There are a few. We have the Rayman Origin, which has about 5 hours left. Very good game. Have done a first impressions on that one. Pretty good. It's probably not the best game you're ever going to touch or anything, but it's a good platform, fun and colourful, bright. Graphics are very nice on it. I do quite like it. It's certainly not bad for the price. Even the regular price is actually pretty cheap, but this is 50% off, $9.99. Was half expecting it to be a bit more off, to be honest, than the flash deal, but nevertheless. Tropico, I can't really say much about it. However, I can talk about Serious Sam. I've mentioned this one before. Very good game. Insane amount of graphical options. Very similar to the old style of first-person shooters. So that would be your Dooms and your Duke Nukem. maybe not forever, as it actually is reasonable rather than doing Nukem Forever. And finally, we're going to be talking about Super Meat Boy. Geez. It should be also called Super Rage Boy. It can possibly make grown men cry. Very good game. Just be warned that your blood pressure may well increase exponentially on this one. Finally, there's also Divinity 2. Haven't heard that much about it, actually. However, I do know that it's fairly well received. It could have been worse. Metacritic and other websites have painted a pretty good picture, actually, so you might want to check it out anyway. So, I think that just about wraps up everything today. Geez, there was a lot of stuff I covered today. Anyway, once again, after tomorrow, Red Gaming Tech will be getting back to normal, somewhat anyway, obviously with the Steam Summer Sale and everything else. Our Master and I have been extremely busy. It takes a lot more work than you'd think, actually, to do these videos with all the editing, screenshots and everything. They take about an hour, actually, just on editing, maybe even a bit more sometimes to do. And so, hopefully, we'll be back to normal, doing a lot more news and so on, which is more what I want to do, but obviously people are really enjoying the Steam Summer Sale videos because, well, let's just face it, you could pick up so many really good games at such a good price. Also, there doesn't seem to be that many really big games released the last couple of weeks, which is generally typical for this time of the year. Of course, I will be keeping all you guys up to date with the website and everything else, so make sure you head on over to our website, which in case you're not sure is www.redgamingtech.com. So anyway guys, take care of yourselves and bye for now.